since date.
My member what?
Your member since date.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, not that long.
Okay.
I've had a couple of different cards.
Okay. Normally,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, tell me more. Like, how do I use this with social?
Oh, well, there's limitless opportunities with American Express and social. We use it for customer service, obviously, as well as engagement and driving commerce, even, for our merchants, and value for our card members.
And you told me there's a way I can connect this with some of my social accounts. Tell me more.
Okay, there's a program that we call, it's our Sync program. Not to drink the Kool-Aid, but is anyone in the room familiar with our Sync program that we launched with Foursquare and with Twitter and Facebook?
Oh,
okay, great. So there's a few people. So we started out by saying, what's an unmet need? And we looked at our merchant partners, and whether it was Best Buy or Whole Foods or Virgin or McDonald's, there was a really common theme among them. And it was, we've got these social platforms, we're investing money, we're investing resources in them, but how can we drive commerce in them? You know, you've got 140 characters to make a sale. How can you turn a tweet into a transaction and turn that conversation into commerce? So we saw that need from merchants, and then we saw our card member need. So we know what our card members like. They enjoy value, offers, and access. What they don't love, especially in the digital age, is paper. They don't want to print out vouchers. They don't want to print out coupons. They don't want to have to pre-buy things. They're exhausted by daily deals. So we saw, okay, there's this great need, a merchant need and a card member need. And then we looked at our technology and our business model. We have what's called our closed loop, which means we have direct relationships with merchants. We have direct relationships with our card members.
Right.
And then we're the network that ties them together, which means essentially when a card member swipes their card, so if you're at Tesco, we can see immediately that you've swiped your card and how much you've spent there. So we created this program called Sync. And what you do is you sync your American Express card to your Twitter, your Facebook, or your Foursquare accounts.
How do I do that? On the American Express site?
It's all on the American Express site, so
Okay.
it's safe and secure. So you're not exchanging any personally identifiable information.
I don't even know if Twitter and Facebook are secure.
Well, you have to worry about what you're putting in American Express.
That's what I would trust
And
more.
you don't have to worry because it's safe and secure there. You're not exchanging any of your information with Twitter, Facebook, or Foursquare.
Good. Okay.
So once you sync your account, you're able to, let's use the Foursquare example because we just launched that in the UK a few weeks ago. So say you're on High Street, you're walking around, you're exploring, you're seeing what offers there are, and then perhaps you go into Tesco to shop. Well, you can explore and see that there's offers waiting for you. With the Tesco example, you'd see that there's a spend 5, get 5 offer. So you go in, you see the offer, you click load to card, all within your phone, it seamlessly loads the offer to your card. Then when you're shopping, you go about your business, you go do the transaction, you swipe your card at the register, then the statement credit is seamlessly loaded to your card. You don't have to show a phone, you don't have to print out anything. The merchant doesn't have to train people behind cash registers. It's all handled centrally.
So how do you know I'm at Tesco to give me that?
Yeah, so that's where our closed loop business model comes in. Because we have the direct relationships with the merchants and we have the direct relationships with the card member, we're able to see where you are and when you're swiping and how much you're swiping at that particular location. So we see it and then we immediately send you a notification.
But do I have to tweet or Foursquare or something that I'm in the location in order to yield that offer?
So with Foursquare, we keep it authentic to all the platforms. So with Foursquare, you have to check in. With Twitter,
so
you tweet out a special offer hashtag. And this is only in the US right now, but say you tweet out Amex McD for Amex McDonald's as a hashtag, then you're seamlessly loaded, have an offer loaded to your card.
And that's great for the merchants because they're getting free word of mouth.
Exactly. It's great for merchants for a couple of reasons. The viral nature of all the platforms, you're able to share and get your brand out there in a really meaningful way. It's also great for them because they're able to see how their marketing is working. They're able to get detailed aggregated reporting on who's shopping where. Is it new customers? Is it existing ones? How much are they spending more than the offer? And they're able to tailor then their marketing efforts moving forward.
What if somebody has a higher clout score or 200,000 Twitter followers, or Jamie Oliver? Would you give them deeper discounts? Would the merchant ever do that?
Right now it's focused on mass. We want to make sure that we have scale and that we're driving value for all of our card members.
Okay. That was great. That's a great way to talk right about how your products are doing this. But let's step back. I'd love to hear about your role and what do you do and where are you from?
Okay, great. So as you said, my name is Brad Miner. Minor Details NYC on Twitter.
Minor Details, clever.
Minor Details, exactly. It's all about the minor details. I can say if you follow me there, you won't learn anything about social media or American Express, but you will get an insight into the neuroses that is my personal life. So it might be worth it depending on what you're looking for. I sit within our public affairs department. The way we have it structured at American Express, when we were launching in Twitter, we thought, who could we trust to really be the voice of American Express in this space? We're obviously a highly regulated industry, lots of legal reviews involved in things. So who could we actually put out there to be a public face of American Express? And the PR department has the ability to talk to the Wall Street Journal without having legal review. We talk to the New York Times, the Financial Times. So it just made sense that we would be the faces of American Express and Twitter related to our PR efforts.
Okay, got it. And how long has the social program been going on?
Way back since about 2009. So yeah, we launched actually with service, since that's our brand hallmark. We started with our World Service team and a Twitter handle called @AskAmex, which was designed to address customer service inquiries.
So let's talk about the team size. And I went through some similar questions with the craft with Michael, and it's always helpful for everybody to hear. How big is the social media team? And by this, is people that have this is pretty much a full-time job.
Yeah, so it's an interesting question. I get asked that a lot from different organizations because I think everyone's trying to figure it out. So with us, the way we have it structured is we have our PR team, and there's 3 of us in the US, and we're focused on engagement and really responding to inquiries, proactively pushing out our engagement messaging, and we're stacked against it full time. Then we also have people throughout the organization that are all focused on it. From our digital partnerships team, they really work on the relationships with the platforms and driving functionality, as well as our advertising team, which obviously focuses on the paid media aspect of it.
Okay, got it. So 3 plus in your team?
Like a handful here and there in the other teams as well.
Yeah, it's sometimes a secondary role for a lot of folks. So let's talk about regulated. And we're really glad to have you here because you provide a different perspective than a lot of the other consumer CPG, retail, and luxury that we've had on stage. But how does regulated get into this space? Because when I look at how regulated companies are using social, often they're listening to what customers are saying, and then after they complain, they say, I heard you. I'm sorry about your problem. Can you please call me? I'm sorry, I heard you. Can we please email you? So they often shift off channel because of the regulatory concerns.
Yeah, for us, it's definitely a situation where we want to stay authentic to the platform. If someone comes to us in Twitter, we want to keep them in that platform as much as we can until we resolve their question. I think, to your point on regulated, it is a tough space to be in because the whole essence of social is that you have to be willing to give over control to the consumers. And regulated industry is anything but about giving over control. So with us, it started with sort of having that trust of who is going to be on the front end of and be the face of our social presences and interacting with card members and that community. And so that's why we have our public affairs staff stacked against it, as well as our customer service, world service team stacked against it.
Okay. Now, internally, I can just imagine the conversations 3 years ago. We want to expose what? We want to put what at risk? Risk management, compliance, legal, the product teams. How did you get through that impossible discussion?
Yeah, no, it was definitely tough. And I think, is anyone here from a big brand, a corporation, or just out of curiosity? Okay, great. So you're probably familiar with this experience that, you see a brand presence launched and you think, okay, wow, that's cool, interesting. Someone probably spent a day working on it. And then the reality, though, is when you're sitting at a corporate office, it's like giving birth. Like it's a long process. It's highly emotional. It's highly exciting. It's highly nauseating. But you do it because at the end of the day, there's this promise that it will ultimately be rewarding. So with us, we really went down that path of figuring out how can we make this something that works for us and benefits our card members, benefits our merchants, and ultimately benefits American Express.
I've never heard somebody describe it as giving birth before.
It is. I can't say that having given birth before, obviously, but from what I've seen on TV and in movies, it seems like that kind of a process.
So actually, that brings up a question about customers crying giving birth. Right. And I asked this question to Kraft. Now, it sounds like you do customer support on social channels. Are we teaching bad behaviors to our customers if we respond to them or give them special treatment? Aren't we just teaching them to yell at their friends if they want our attention?
No, absolutely not. I feel like with us, the opportunity is much greater than the risk for that, because we're essentially a service brand. That's our focus. So we want to be able to provide a platform to be able to really demonstrate our leadership in service in a very public way. We also find that we get a lot more positive shout-outs via Twitter, and it's a way to merchandise the excellent service that we're providing.
Okay. I want to talk more about the innovation that you guys have done around Small Business Saturday, the Foursquare things you guys pushed out at South by Southwest, right?
Yes, South by.
2 years ago?
Well, we started at South by the year before with a Foursquare partnership, which I just mentioned, and then we launched our Twitter Sync program at the most recent South by.
Mm-hmm. So how do these work? The Foursquare one in particular.
Well, so that was one I was explaining earlier, where you sync your card to Foursquare, you check in at a local merchant, and you see that there's an offer there. You seamlessly load the offer to your card, and then when you swipe and spend, it's loaded. You can
How many merchants are involved in that now?
What's interesting, it varies. There's a sustained amount of merchants that are involved at any given point. With the Twitter example, we were planning on launching in March, and we wanted to have 5 solid merchants. That was our goal. Then once we kind of opened the floodgates and started investigating, we wound up with 17 merchants, and that was McDonald's, Best Buy, Whole Foods, Ticketmaster, Virgin. Wow. So a lot of really well-known big brands that wanted to get involved and wanted to help drive commerce in the space.
Okay. Now let's talk about, you've done a lot of programs, American Express, really innovative on the product side, more so than some of the competitors in your space. I've done actually some thorough analysis on it.
Great. Love that.
So, the question is, what tools or agencies do you use in order to accomplish this?
Yeah, I think what's interesting about our approach at American Express is that we really focus on driving innovation and driving engagement from an internal perspective. So when we talk about our community engagement strategy, it's really all done in-house. Like I said, there's 3 of us that are stacked against that. It's in-house. Because we feel like it's got to be authentic to who American Express is. You can't outsource your brand. You can't outsource that engagement. People want to be able to see that they're engaging with a real human. They want to know that Mona, who's one of our tweeters, is responding to them in her voice, or that Matt is responding to them in his voice. And that's where we get a lot of credit, because we're authentic to who we are as a brand, and then the individuals who are overseeing our presence are authentic to themselves as well.
Interesting. So to close things up, I'd love to hear, Bradley, your vision on what social is going to look like for businesses in 3 years. Does it stay standalone? Does it integrate? Is it going to change your business? A lot of times, the regulated financial companies, again, listen on social and shift off channel. What's your vision?
With us, we feel like social has to be at the core of everything we do. So we look at it all with that social lens of, okay, let's not just put up a splash page or a microsite or have Facebook or Twitter as part of a program. What can we do to make social core to the programs that we launch, and really look at it as a business opportunity and not just a marketing opportunity? So like I said, we're looking to solve merchant needs of driving commerce in the space. We're looking at solving card member needs by providing value offers and access, and then looking to work with our digital partners to help solve their needs as well.
That's great. Please give Bradley a very nice thank you applause for your time.
Thank you so much.